Well, it's Wednesday, November 5th, 2008, and this is the day after the 2008 general election, including presidential election. And, well, Bush was on his way out regardless of what else was going to happen unless he further shredded the Constitution. But what's really delightful to me, living here in North Carolina, was the defeat of Elizabeth Dole. Elizabeth Dole ran a series of ads, a couple of them, that were among the most vile and heinous pieces of political garbage that I've ever witnessed. A lot of people took exception to her view or her attempt to besmirch Kay Hagan's faith, saying that she hung out with those godless individuals. Now, I can see taking exception to that, but what I really take exception to, what really gets under my skin, was her automatic dismissal of anybody who doesn't believe in God as being a horrible person who deserves neither a voice nor representation. And that, to me, is appalling. Elizabeth Dole, you should be ashamed of yourself. And quite frankly, I'm glad to see the end of you. If you leave North Carolina, not that you spent a great deal of time here anyway, but if you leave North Carolina and never come back, I'll be perfectly content. If you left Earth and didn't come back, I'd be pretty happy about that, other than the fact that you got to go out into space before I did, which is a bit unfair. But we have watched these last 8 years as the United States Constitution has been shredded, used as toilet paper, ignored. And frankly, anybody who isn't excited today really needs to take a look at these last 8 years. No more illegal wiretaps without warrants. No more holding people without even giving formal charges and holding them indefinitely without trial. We live in a new world today. And quite frankly, I find it exciting and refreshing. But back to the idea about godlessness. Being godless does not mean being evil. I'm a fairly ethical person. I use my turn signals. I obey the laws. I pay my taxes. I don't do odd things in trash cans with sea urchins. I don't use drugs, with the occasional exception, okay, daily I abuse caffeine, and about 3 or 4 times a week I will have a beer. Yeah, big party animal here. I'm a decent person. I just don't happen to believe that there's any supreme being or beings overseeing the world, having created the world, or even existing. It's ludicrous. The only evidence that's provided are self-referential texts, some of which contradict other texts, some of which contradict themselves. And if this is the extent of your evidence, it's just too weak for such an extraordinary claim. I have been in houses of worship. I've been in so-called houses of God. He wasn't there. I can't find him. Probably more amazing to me than the belief in a God is the belief in a devil, or Satan, Beelzebub, demons, imps, any myriad of little bad wizards who want to make you be a bad person. I've watched human beings for a long time, and quite frankly, I don't think they need the help. I think that they can get along just fine. And maybe with this new change in our government, we'll finally have a place. We'll have a seat at the adults' table. We'll be taken seriously. We won't be ignored. We won't have to launch court cases in order to protect our rights because people will see that that's just the thing to do. That you don't force your beliefs down somebody else's throat. By the way, Mrs. Dole, we don't want to take God out of your private life. We're just tired of you trying to shove him into ours. And quite frankly, I'm glad